Hey everyone, and welcome to another SEO tutorial. This one is about how your business can very simply learn a little graphics editing. And there's an interesting package that I want to show you, and that's called Gimp, G-I-M-P. The nice thing is that it's very robust, almost like Photoshop, and yet it's free. It's open source, and it can run on all of the three major operating systems, Windows, Mac, and Linux. So if you want to go ahead and grab this, there's a free download, and I'll put the link in the description or below the video here. And this is what it looks like when it's open. And it's really this simple. I'm going to walk you through just a real quick of how I do a typical editing of a typical image that I would use on a post or even an article on a website. All right. So here we have Gimp open, and it works just like the file browser for your computer to grab a new file. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll be right back. So it's that simple. We went and used our file browser and brought in an image. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the amount of zoom that I have so that I can use it a little easier. Then I'm going to go in here to the tools and this cut tool, crop tool, and I'm just going to left click, hold and drag, and I'm going to trim the area that I want. Now I'm going to left click in the middle, and it cuts it down to the size I want, right? And the size will be right up here in the top, and this is 13 by 980 by 760. All right, now if we want to change that again, I right click, come down to image, scale image. Now it lets me choose, and because the chain's locked, if I change one of these dimensions, it will keep the same ratio and change the other. So let's take this down to something a little more size friendly, to 1,000 pixels wide, and it'll automatically do the height for me. I just click scale, and it makes it that size. Now that's the size of the image, not the size that's being displayed. If we want to change the display size, we come down here to the bottom, we can click on 66 or even 100%. That gives us the full size. Okay. From here, another simple thing we might want to do is you say, well, this is not really the color of the car that I want. Instead of a blue color, I'd like something like a red. So we're going to right click, come down to colors, and then hue saturation, and we're going to click blue. Since that's the only color that we want to change, we're going to click the blue radio button. Then we're going to come down here to hue, and we're going to left click and drag it to the right. And there we go through purple. Here we come to red, and I'll just go for example. I'll keep going around. You see these other colors. There's a green. All right, so we can make this blue any color that we want. And we'll stop right here at this kind of a rust red type of thing. Once we want that to apply, and remember, we only change the blue colors. And also another note, it changed every color that was blue in this. So this little hue down here that was blue of reflection, it also now changes to red, which works for this instance. But in other cases, you might not want it to work. So we're going to click OK, and that will save the color change. Okay. Now if we want to export it, we can simply right click, File, Export. Now notice we're not clicking Save. Save saves the project file for Gimp. That's not what we want. We want to export, and it'll tell us where we want it to go, and we can change the name here. We can also change the type of output file. Do we want a JPEG? Do we want a PNG? Do we want a GIF, a TIFF, so on? And we'll just go ahead and leave this at JPEG. Now, from an SEO standpoint, you may want to name this something like the service, like brake repair, and then of course this town name you'd want to replace with whatever your town name is that you want to rank well for. So replace this with your own town name. And then we just click export, and it'll say, in this case, we have an overwrite, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and export it. Here's where it gives you the quality choice, and you can look at the preview window and see how much quality you want. Honestly, this is a fine size for what we have. The advanced options will also help you for SEO. And that, let's say we took this picture in a place that was not our town name. Well, we probably want to turn off the EXIF, and we probably want to turn off the XMP. Now, if this was taken in the same town that we want to rank for, then we want to leave these on, because Google does read that EXIF and XMP data. So that's a good SEO tip. All right, and we'll say export. It's that simple. We just edited the file, we changed the color, and we changed the size. I'll give you one more advanced little tip here. We could be done right there, but as an advanced tip, we're going to go to this tool, which is the clone tool. So we left click on it. Okay, and I'm going to come over here to layers. Don't let that scare you. There's only one layer here, but I just want to show you that tab. Layers, and there's only one tab here. So we're on the right layer we want. We're on the clone tool. Now we're going to move the mouse back over here, and that's a little bit small. So I want to make that brush size bigger. I'm going to move this slider that says size, and that's going to be probably just about right. And notice the type of brush. It's a pretty soft brush. There's no hard edges. Since we're going to clone, that's a great brush size to use. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to sample this area by holding down the Control key on the keyboard and clicking with my left mouse button. And that now says take the sample from that area. Now when I left click anywhere else, it starts to overwrite or clone this area. So if I want to remove this little chair and just leave a grassy area, I can do that. Pretty simple. All right, and of course you can play with that and make it look better, and you may want to change the whole color scheme of the grass or whatever's the case. All right, now if we want to save that change, again, we're going to right click. We're going to come down to image. We're going to go to file. Then we're going to come down to export. If we want to just overwrite it, we'll just click the same one. It'll overwrite us and not ask us anything. If we want to change the name, we would go to File, Export As, and then choose a different name. Okay? Hope that helps as a simple introduction into some of the basic things that you need to do when editing what may seem like advanced techniques, but it's really only a couple clicks for your business. All right? Hope this helps. Check in the description below for more helpful text and links.